What's up, everybody? It's me, Anu here. Hi, hello, aloha, aloha, wherever you are. I am so happy to be here for the Just Keep Jamming podcast, broadcasting live from my peacock chair in my living room in Kailua Kona, Hawaii. I have a room full of Patreon peoples. What's up, Patreon peeps? Gonna get a whoop whoop. Yep, they're dancing. They're having a blast. I also have one very special guest in the audience. His name is E.N Young, who is my old dear friend from a long time ago. He's my special guest on the All Is Bright tour. I can't wait to play with him. How you feeling, Ian?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here. This is a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have a little protocol when we like to get started, just to kind of loosen mostly me up, because sometimes I can be a rambling weirdo. I love wine, and we have a wine of the week. So if anyone has the visual, you can see that this is called Beringer Bros Bourbon Barrel Aged. Again, with the bourbon barrel, we had one like that last time. Cabernet Sauvignon. I got this one from not the gas station this time, a little bit fancier than that. It's pretty bold. It's medium between smooth and tannic. On the dry side, has hints of oak, vanilla, and chocolate. I don't know. I can never really tell the difference between those kinds of flavors. I can just tell if it's like tannic or dry, but some people can like identify, yeah, it was raining a lot that year or whatever. Like, that's incredible. But if anyone's drinking, cheers to you. Mahalo, Ian, for being here.
Yeah, salud.
Okay, so let's get started and let's get rocking. Let's talk about how we know each other. Do you remember how we met?
Yeah, but I think it's before you remember.
Yeah, on the tour,
Okay,
the Surf
cool.
Roots tour.
No. Before that.
What do you mean?
We backed you before that.
I don't know. Tell me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
at a festival in Santa Barbara.
Oh my God, the twin brothers.
Yes, the twins. I never met you before, and that was my first introduction. I never even met you. You just walked on stage. But we stranger backed you. So this was a long time ago. This was 2000, maybe 2007.
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
and
it's
then
literally
two years later, we went on tour together with The Green and Stranger, my band, same band. So yeah.
Yeah, that was so freaking cool. But I was definitely nervous because I hadn't even met you guys. You guys like had heard a couple of my songs and had to learn them on your own. God bless you.
We didn't even talk before the set. We just played it. I think you played like 5 songs in and out, like a 30-minute set or something quick.
But that was instant kinship.
Yeah.
And then our friend from Surf Roots, Dave.
Yeah.
We love our boy Dave. He's everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, he invited myself, The Green, and Stranger. It was just us 3. Oh, remember it was those 2 guys, Tamarama?
Oh yeah. Yeah, from Australia. That was great. That was a fun tour.
Man, we earned I earned my stripes on that tour, just as far as like paying our dues.
Yeah, we were hustling. There were some big crowds though. There were some crowds that were good, that went off because The Green was just starting to come up, and you were definitely doing it. It was good. And I remember seeing you a couple years later in 2012. You played at the Aloha Tower, and I played also. And it was the first time me playing on the islands personally, not Stranger, just solo. So 2012, I had just released my first record. And the Steppas were backing me. I don't think we even connected that night, but I went to check your set and I was on the side, and Hawaiians know how to celebrate and know how to step it up when it's a show and the vibes are on. This was amazing to experience because I just walked into like you in the center. I don't even know if your feet were touching. You were like floating center, and all the cameras were out, and you had just gone on stage. It was incredible. And I was like, oh, this is the vibe. Like, cause we kind of missed that on the first tour because we were younger. This was 4 or 5 years later, and it was a fat crowd, and it was amazing. I remember thinking, damn, this girl's flying right now. Yeah.
I love that visual. Like, that's a super cool visual.
It was dope. It was a dope experience. Yeah. And it was the first times I played in the islands too, so it was that energy. Like, I played main stage Aloha Tower, like that was crazy. I just got in. I don't know how that happened, but
how did you connect with the Steppas? You just met them on the internet, or did they come to California?
Yeah, I was talking to them for years, and then I think Kino had linked with Star or something, and I'm good friends with Big Mountain with Kino, and so I linked up with Star, and then he had invited me, and he just said he would back me. They're like, yeah, we'll do it. So yeah, he's an amazing brother. I got his back for life, Star.
How did Hawaii receive you?
It's always been incredible. Honestly, I've always been treated very, very well on the island. So it's always aloha vibes, and yeah, the energy's strong there. So I love it.
I
Absolutely.
love it. Right on. Thanks for sharing all of that. I want to hear a little bit more about before that. Like, tell me about young E.N Young when you were just a little boy before the dreadlocks were touching the floor. Tell
Dang.
us.
Yeah, I grew up in Chula Vista, which is I live right now in Imperial Beach, and this is the most southwest corner in the US. So I border Mexico and the Pacific Ocean. So we live right here, like right. I could see the border from my house. And so
Ooh,
I grew up in Chula Vista, just like 5 minutes east a little bit. And my parents got me into piano at a young age. They got me piano lessons, and that was the biggest blessing because it's been with me ever since at 5 years old. So, and I didn't come from a musical family at all. None of them really played instruments. They threw me in lessons, and I liked it right away. And so I just continued lessons my basically through high school, like long time off and on. I would quit for a couple years and always came back. I always loved it. So yeah, I was just a crazy energetic kid bouncing off the walls and loving life. I have two sisters. Yeah,
I
it
know I
was
met one of them and I met your
yeah.
awesome parents.
Yeah. Yeah, during that tour, my family was coming around, so you got to know them well.
So, did you like reggae music? Like, what kind of music
Yeah, so
were
at
you into?
at 13 years old, I liked everything growing up. Like I liked punk rock and metal and even everything that was on the radio, mainstream. I like a lot of different type of music, but at 13 years old, I was still finding myself, as a young adult, basically teenager. My friend gave me a tape, and it was a mixtape, and the first song was Don Carlos, and then it was Bob Marley, Belly Full. It was like some Barrington and a bunch of different songs on there. It was incredible. Johnny Osborne and things. What they were speaking about just resonated with me. For some reason, it spiritually just connected with me. I went to a Catholic school, so very spiritual. You could hear it in my music, on a spiritual tip, and it roots from a young age. But yeah, so reggae music just spoke to me, like the words they were talking, and about unity and peace, love, and standing up for rights, and just everything that it had on that first tape. It like meditation, and it took me. I was like, oh, yo, this is something special. I remember I had a little yellow tape, and I would take it everywhere with that one tape that I had for like 3 months. So I would take it everywhere, like a real tape.
Yes.
Yeah, back in the day. So
Oh my God.
and then after that, I started getting more tapes, and my brother started loving it too. And we started going. Our parents took us to the vinyl shop, and where they had strict. It was a reggae shop, like a roots and culture shop, Trade Roots it was called in San Diego. And they waited in the car while we went in and like looked for our first vinyl. And the old Bingy Rasta man had dreads tied up. Elliot looked at us and, you like reggae? And yeah, you should try this. Try this. I only have one tape. He came out with some CDs. Check this mix CD. Check this mix CD. And so after that, it was on. We were going all the time, just trying to find, a new song that we like. We like that minor, dark kind of 80s, late 70s, early 80s
Yeah.
vibe. Yeah. So, yeah, it
I
was,
love that. I love
yeah,
how you said
yeah,
minor dark. Like it's almost like
yeah,
R&B reggae. Like I love that
yeah.
too. The emo. I call it emo, but I'm just mean like emotional. Like
Yeah, emotional. For me, it was just roots. It was like, yo, what is
yeah.
this? Like right when it hits, you're like, damn, this is murder. Like, what is this? So,
Yes.
what they were speaking about and everything, it really took me. And so we just were hardcore into it. Like my brother collecting vinyl, and then when we got of age, like 17, linking up, trying to go to shows and trying to link up with like find more about roots and culture, reggae music. It's been such a good foundation, and I'm so grateful for it. It's
Yes.
really, and I know you have a similar coming from Hawaii. I know it's a similar vibe there, like because they say San Diego is the roots capital. Yeah, have you heard them say that? Capital of
That's cool.
reggae
I
music.
believe
Yeah,
it.
any vinyl collectors, we have the biggest like community. And anyway, so a place that's similar is like the islands, like Oahu, but all the islands basically. So it's a similar energy where you come from. I hear you talking about red, gold, and green and all your songs. Like you always had like a little Rasta swag like the whole
Just a
time.
little one.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
I'm like Taylor Swift with like a joint in her mouth.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
one bong rip, just one bong
Yeah.
rip. But that's so cool. I love hearing that. So you are a producer as well as a solo artist. You're a
Yeah.
part of bands. How did you get your producing skills? I mean, I see you're in your studio right now. Am I right?
Yeah. Yep. So at 17 years old, I got in a program where they hook up internships for young kids. My grandfather told me, like, what do you want to get into? I want to donate something towards your education. So it was half the
Mhm.
time an internship and half the time where they teach you and you study. This program I'm speaking of, I found it in a magazine, like a modern music magazine, and got an internship here in San Diego. I remember I made the phone calls and everything. 17, went into my first studio and it changed my life. My teacher was real humble and very knowledgeable and would let me make my own music. So I brought my keyboard in and he would like, okay, we got 20 minutes. What do you want to do? And I had my keyboard and we would sequence music and I record vocals on it. And I brought my live drums in a few times. And before computers, it was ADAT. So it's tape,
That's
you know?
old school.
Yeah, so right before the computers took over, but yeah, it was incredible. So from there, I went to college and went to computers and music and kept studying, and then was with my band Stranger, Roots Covenant, and we were all getting into Pro Tools, and
Hmm.
so yeah, just started there, and then I just really buckled down and wanted to create my own records. And 3 years before I came out with my album, I started getting good, and then
Uh-huh.
once I released my record, then a lot of people hit me up. Tribal Seeds hit me up right away and was like, I
Hmm.
want the record to sound like yours, like this. So we went in the studio and
Yes.
recorded, and after work with them, a lot more people, and it's just been flooded ever since. It's just, I've never had to really advertise. It's just producing has came in.
I'm waiting in line now.
It's
I
been a
really am.
blessing. So it's really the experience that gave me all this. Like, experience is the biggest teacher. So it was the knowledge and the success and all that was from this experience I had. And I don't know that I just fell into it. I definitely didn't fall into it, but certain things need to happen, in a spiritual sense. Like, things need to work out and they need to flow. And once you,
Hmm.
if you put it out there and, the path reveals itself, I just walked down it and here I am, years later. It's been great.
I
It's been
love
great.
it. I love it so
Yeah.
much. I think the word that sticks out to me when you're talking about your past is just foundation. Like having a strong foundation. You learned about vinyl records and tapes from your yellow cassette
Yeah.
tape. You with the internship, like you made that foundation. Somebody didn't hand it to you. You had to
Yeah.
go and get it. And that just shows that why you're still doing what you're doing. Is
Yeah,
this
it's
your full-time
incredible.
job?
Yeah,
Making
for
music?
sure.
Hell
100%. Yeah,
yeah.
it's been for years. Yeah, the
Hell
last
yeah.
the last job I had, I was a brewer for Carl Strauss.
You have the coolest two jobs in the world, Carl Strauss and music maker.
Yeah.
Jeez. You didn't have to
Yeah.
work at McDonald's or
Nah,
Bubba Gumps like me.
music's
No,
definitely it. Music's the one though.
that's awesome.
Music is so
Beautiful.
healing to us all, it's such a special thing and such a gift to be like the conductor of it at times, it's incredible.
Right.
I
I
see you
can't wait
too.
to work with you.
I see your moving frequencies on stage. You're the vibes, you're like a magician out there. I see it. It's awesome.
So, if you had to choose maybe one favorite concert you've ever attended, and you can't say mine, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'll say the most recent one was seeing Burning Spear in San
Yep.
Diego.
Oh my
He's
God.
a legend, yeah. So
Hmm.
Burning Spear is a legend, hasn't toured for years. I remember the Harry Belafonte concert when I was 5 years old. You know the song? De, mi se de, mi se de, mi se de, mi se de. You know?
Beetlejuice, yes.
Yeah, yeah, Beetlejuice style. So that guy is named Harry Belafonte. My parents
Oh,
took
he
me when
just
I was.
passed away recently, right? I remember
Did
that.
he? I
Yes.
didn't even know that. Wow.
Jerry said, yeah. I saw it on Good Morning America.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
but you
Yeah,
saw him when
so
you were 5 years old? Oh,
yeah, I
wow.
still remember it was at Humphreys on the Bay. I'm sure you've played there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We should has anyone done like a modern version of that?
no.
Daylight come and we
Yeah.
one go
Oh,
on.
you would
Even
crush
like
that.
come Mr. Oh, let's do that one. Ooh, let's do that one. Ian, I'm serious. Like even if
Yeah.
it's just on stage on
All
this
right.
tour, because we need to come up
Okay.
in front of everyone's very eyes. I was hoping Ian and I could work out some things about the tour.
Yeah.
Like creative
We
shit.
haven't figured
And
out what song we're playing. Let's do this.
we haven't even spoken, guys. We've arranged this entire
No, we
tour
haven't.
via text because I'm a texter.
But we're friends, so make it happen.
And text is efficient because sometimes I need to refer back to what the hell I said. And
True.
yeah, but I'm just amazed. But yeah,
Three
let's
Little
get some.
Birds. All right. Three Little Birds. Who said that? Gerald?
Everyone
Gerald?
sings that.
That's you? All right.
Jerry, are you
Yeah,
joking?
Jerry.
So
Everyone does that one.
it's becoming like a little bit of a joke. It's like Freebird, like it's like the drunk guy at the end of the night, like
Yeah.
Freebird, like three little
And I
birds,
think
like
Catch a Fire started that whole movement, yeah?
yeah. And then Kimie, guys, Kimie, who's also
Oh,
going to be on
it's
our first street show, she did a Hawaiian
yeah.
version. She produced a Hawaiian version with the Green singing it in Hawaiian. So now there's a big
Oh,
resurgence. But that's an
wow.
easy option. We
Are
could do that
are
on the
you s-
first three if
are
you
you
want to.
singing Christmas songs?
So that was another thing I needed to talk to you about. I wanted to see if you even celebrate Christmas, first of all, because it is called the All Is Bright Holiday Tour. Doesn't
Cool.
necessarily have to be Christmas
Do
songs.
you
Like
sing
I celebrate
holiday
Christmas.
songs?
I sing a few. Like I do like three, and Kimmy is probably gonna do two. We just recorded, and it's gonna be released on December 1st. Our holiday song called Red, Gold, and Green. It's like
Oh
a reggae one.
yeah.
It's just more like good vibes. Like red
Vibes,
represents our
yeah.
hearts. And so, yeah, but if you have a Christmas song, do you have one in mind?
No, I have no Christmas songs on my set.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
going
okay.
just strictly roots, and I got a small
Yes.
set, so I'm just going for it.
Okay, let's figure that out then. I think we can do like a collaborative Christmas song at the end. That's like a fun one. But that maybe more of a reggae style, like
Yeah.
maybe Red, Gold, and Green. We bring you up halfway through and you can do like a little solo, but I want to hear your voice. Like he's
Let's do
very
it.
known, everybody, for his melodica because it's just such a cool like visual. Do you guys know what that is, right? It's like a little
Yeah.
keyboard horn. I don't know. How would you explain it? Whoa, there it is.
Melodica, see?
Badass. Like badass. And it's so easy to transport. He can just jump up with like any band, like, oh, you want melodica? Like, fuck yeah, we want
Yeah,
melodica.
I've probably pushed the stage with you a few times. I
I
apologize.
love when you push the stage. The
No,
last time I saw you.
let me tell you guys. She was playing Cali Roots 11. I think it was the second Cali Roots ever. For those like 3 years, I would just jump on stage with everyone. I would just walk up and jump on, even if they're like giving
Hell
me the
yeah.
stink face. I would still do that. I don't know. It was in my
I
young years. Like I
would
was
give you a
flying.
stink face.
I was flying at that point. I wasn't really the most my conscious self, so I was just running, jumping on stage, and then I was on the side with you, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go, I gotta go," and I just waited for the perfect song, and I just rolled up, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I was stepping on your toes." It was honestly amazing, but I never
Wasn't
said
I? Did I have like a Jamaican band at the time? Was it
you
a bunch
did.
of,
Yeah,
yeah.
you had some of the members from Midnight. No, they're St. Croix.
Well, they played with certain amazing Virgin Islands and Jamaica. Yeah, it was Mishka's band, and we were sharing a band. We were on the Olukai tour, and that was like a cool one
Got
because
it.
we were able to afford a bus because Olukai sponsored us. And so we were like running off of no sleep, roll onto the stage. I'm like, Ian, like there's my boy. But all these
Yeah.
Jamaicans probably didn't know who you were. I'm like, fuck, but it's all good. Like you were the freaking man. I
I
don't even
couldn't
remember it, but
I couldn't. Those Some of those musicians were from the St. Croix, and they backed Midnight. Vaughn Benjamin, he's from Akabeka, but just like a super hard roots band. And then I saw them with you. I was like, what? This is crazy.
I didn't,
Yeah, I
I was
couldn't
not
believe.
worthy, but
Yeah,
they taught my bass player at the time a lot about how to play reggae bass properly, like
yeah,
just the
yeah.
difference. And I think it added that edge to my live performance in that era. And
Wow.
I'm appreciative of what I learned. Like, yeah, it humbled me for sure. Like I thought, but we have a whole different type of reggae in Hawaii, which we should honor, but that's maybe the more original roots vibes. And I love that probably the most.
Yeah,
Um,
but outside of Jamaica, Hawaii, all of the islands have the foundation of the roots music for sure.
Yeah,
You know,
there's
like
so
yeah,
many different dialects of it, like a language, right? Like there's so many
yeah,
different. There's the East Coast reggae. There's the Southern Carolinas, like Chopadelic. I don't know what kind that'd be, like the East
yeah,
Coast California or something. Then of course there's Hawaii, and then there's Guam, which I just came from. They have their own little
yeah,
type of Chris Boomer and Four Piece Band, and so many amazing artists on there too. Have you been to
yeah.
Guam first, real fast?
Yeah, yeah, I played on Guam. I couldn't remember if it was with you or Kimie when I went with Tribal Seeds. This was like, yeah,
Not
yeah.
tribal seeds.
I think it was Kimie. So I went with Tribal Seeds once, and then I went with Stranger once back in the day, and it
Oh,
was
awesome.
blessed. Like I was treated so well. It was
They
incredible.
treat you so
Yeah,
good. I love them
so
so
good.
much.
Like from the airport through the whole trip, incredible. Such good people.
Exactly.
I
I
love Guam with all my heart. Oh man.
shout out to Frankie and the
Yeah.
entire people who just brought us out, Frankie and the entire Beyond the Reef crew. We love you and continue to
Yeah.
bring us out. We love visiting you guys.
Uh,
As we continue this convo, I want to make a shout out to my sponsor. I'm just kidding. I have no sponsor. I want a sponsor. If anyone wants to sponsor this podcast, now would be a time that we would advertise whatever your product is. And with this, I would be able to hire somebody to edit this podcast and make it badass because right now
yeah.
I'm spread thin and I have to edit it myself and I just can't do it. So come be our sponsors. Thank you.
You need
Okay.
an intern.
I do. everybody in this Zoom room, we talk about this because these are like all these people are like my family. We've gone through everything together. We're like therapy sessions together. And so they know, like, Anu, you need to learn how to ask for help when you need it. I'm like, it's so hard. Anyway.
Well, thank you guys for supporting my friend Anu. You guys are amazing. Appreciate that.
Thank
She
you.
speaks highly. Look at she's speaking about you.
Aw, I want to ask you, that's kind of a good little segue, just as far as like what the intention of this podcast is for so many of us. Mental health is a thing that only like within the past few years, I believe, is really been in the forefront of people's conversations. I feel like
It's
more
true.
since the pandemic, and then with men, maybe even within the reggae community, like you maybe be able to sing your emotions, but just to be able to talk to them, talk them out. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with maybe any anxieties if you have any sort of mental health things you want to share?
It's been a it's been a journey for me. It hasn't this human experience is a wild one, and like I said, I'm on a real spiritual tip, but it's just it doesn't make it any easier. Like you're still going through all the mental chatter and things that we all go through. And so yeah, I've been through some things for sure, and I feel like I made it out on the other side just recently. I'm feeling more confident in my own skin, and just yeah, just moving through this human experience. Like so, yeah. But yeah, I've definitely been through some things, and how do I do it? I think just some of the things that I've learned, like just staying
Tools.
positive. Yeah,
Yeah.
tools. Basically, staying positive right now. Like, how can I make myself feel good right now, like this exact second? Like, not how can I play a good show on Friday, or how can I do this challenge I got to do. It's how do I feel good right now? And I feel like once everything in life, I think stacks or like cycles or like vibrates, so the frequencies get higher. But once you feel how to, like, I'm gonna take a sip out of my drink and like, oh, it's warm and I can taste some of the alcohol. It's amazing. This is great. I'm on with lovely people, just small things, thoughts can get me going, and that can lead to the next thing. And I feel like that kind of process has really helped me, because before it was like I wasn't so conscious, and then when I started waking up and being more conscious, I would feel like it's a couple years back, I just let everything get to me, like social media and the chatter, comparing myself, like myself telling me it needs to be a certain standard to like release music, even to be who I am, to go on camera, I have to be like a certain standard. And just feeling, and I feel like I was just choosing those things because in the human experience, I feel like it could be anything. Like we're wired like that. We're wired. So we have to, there's something gonna affect us, And so I feel like I went through some things and learned these processes, to really just be happy in the moment, like just choose to enjoy one thing, like just the air on me. Okay, this is amazing. I'm
Yes.
alive. Next thing, next thing, next thing. And if you stack those things by a couple hours later, you're like, I'm flying high right now because
Right.
I allowed myself to go, instead of letting this thing knock me down. I'm just like, no, no, focus on the positive energy. So
Present in the moment. That's something I learned when I went to this like holistic, it was a rehab facility, but it wasn't for only like drug people, even though there was some druggies in there. Mine was for freaking mental breakdown. Like,
yeah,
and I had never done therapy. I had never like taken medication or meditated. I did yoga from time to time, but there was no self-care. But I got to learn some words to be able to communicate my feelings a little better. And that what you're describing reminds me of the word that I learned there, which was like being present in the moment,
yeah,
which was my inspiration behind part of the song that I wrote called Just Keep Jamming, where I go, don't worry about the road ahead or think about the past behind you. Like just stay in your little cute little bubble and play your song. Like right now you're playing a song, sing it. Like if you feel protected in that moment, you can deal with it in just a moment, but with every
yeah.
second that goes by, you're building more strength to be able to deal with whatever that obstacle might be, right? Like in front of you. And it's just so empowering. It's like you're like building strength.
Yeah, very true. And when you're in that presence, not only do you appreciate more, but you see more. Like I feel like if I'm in that positive energy, I'm seeing the things that I can be grateful rather than when I'm in a negative state, I'm not seeing anything. So, except but the chat or hearing the chatter or scrolling and I'm like, like, you know what I mean? Going,
Mhm.
yeah. So to me, it's just
And the
been that
comparing
process.
factor, it's interesting for me to hear that, like, because I actually just posted something today. I don't know if you saw that, but today is like this fateful day for so many Spotify listeners and artists. Like, it's the Spotify Wrapped release day, and
Yes.
it's where people can like brag about how many likes or whatever they got, and like there's all these memes about like no one cares about your likes, or like there's
Uh,
funny like haters, but it's funny because the most of us, we do care. I wish I didn't, because it does mean like something about your livelihood and all of that.
yeah.
But my whole perspective on my shit is because like I didn't release anything new this year. I wanted to, I probably should have, but I couldn't bring myself to do that. And I felt bad about it. But then after all of these tools, I realized I don't need to feel bad. If I wasn't ready, it's fine. I'm living my path and my journey on no one
Yeah.
else's timeline. Do you feel kind of like you're on your own path, or do you feel controlled by what you see on social media ever?
Yeah, I definitely I see the quality that people are coming out with and I think I just have thought before like I'm not aggressively going down the road of releasing content and releasing music because I want it to be a certain standard and the thing is I'm already in that standard. I'm just comparing myself to others and and it's like a subconscious thing too because it's not like right I'm like oh my gosh I can't believe that person I want to be like that. It's not like that. It's just I
No.
feel like in my subconscious, and so but yeah, but I feel like during 2020 I feel or during COVID I feel like I was consuming a lot, like I was taking a lot of things in, either trying to better certain things that I do in my life. I was just ingesting a lot of content and I feel like at that time I wasn't balanced fully, I wasn't meditating. I wasn't like having these practices that I talk about. And
Mhm.
um, I've always kind of had anxiety, and my anxiety is like the panic version where I'm just like can't move, like want to fall on the floor and can't breathe kind of
Oh,
thing. Yeah,
yeah,
so I
yeah,
have like
yeah.
panic anxiety. So, and I feel like it gets me when I'm out of balance, and it gets me
Hmm.
and it doesn't happen too often, but during that time I started getting it a lot frequently, and I was like, what is
And your
going
body's
on?
telling you, that's your body
Yeah.
reacting to
Yeah.
something in your
And that's
mind, right?
exactly. So
Yeah.
I just started facing more of it. And my sister was seeing a therapist and she's amazing. You should talk to her. And so I would have meetings with her once a week. And it wasn't the thing
Yes.
that changed me, but it was just like I was focusing on me and to talk about me was good. I felt like it helped me a lot. And she set me I faced a lot of things that happened in my life, like with family and things that traumas that happened throughout my life, and I faced a lot of them. And I feel like at that time, at that point, I started understanding that it's there, and I started meditating, and I kind of got through it. So I had uh, Lestafari is a guitarist here in the States. He's a legend playing guitar, but he was telling me how he meditates every day. I meditate every day.
Mhm.
Also, my friend Don and I, both of them were telling me about meditation to meditate. So I started meditating at first for 7 minutes a day. I would put frequencies on and I would meditate for 7 minutes outside and it really changed me. I did that every single day for maybe 3 months and it really got me. And so and I was facing all these things and I feel like I made it to a really good point. And then I started getting to the point where this process started. I started listening to Abraham Hicks. Have you ever heard of that? Anyone?
No.
It's down a rabbit hole. It's pretty deep. If you get into it, it's like I'll keep this brief. And I was just taking the good from it. And because life is, I feel like this life is so mysterious, and there's just so much we want to know about aliens and God and where we're going after. We want to know all about all of it, and it's such a mystery. But you feel the connection and you feel that it's meant to be. Like I know every human feels this at times. I started listening to this Abraham Hicks, and I'll be quick when I say this, but it's the woman that has learned how to channel her higher spirits or something, and she talks as it's these collective of spirits, and she becomes him and speaks. I know it sounds crazy. Look into it though. It
Her
looks
name
really
is Esther Hicks, but she is a channeled
yes.
And now she's Abraham Hicks. I'm
no,
quickly just Googling.
she channels it. She'll be like, let me go into it, and she like comes out and she's like speaking. Anyways, the things that she says
Ooh.
are so spot on, and it's so trippy, and it just got me to the point where that process where it's like get your frequencies turning up to positive, and it starts with
Ooh.
like waking up and batting away the negative and saying, I'm gonna have a good day today. Like, look, my legs are feeling good today, or I can stand, like, oh, I'm gonna brush my
Yes.
teeth and enjoy this or whatever, or let's have breakfast and really enjoy it, and it just stacks on top of each other. So I feel like now that I've gone through that whole thing and I came out on the other side, I feel a lot more in control, and I feel more confident in my own skin. And I feel like this just happened. Like you said, no releases for a year. I'm sitting on a catalog. Like I have so much music and I have not released any of it. And I feel like I've been using excuses like, oh, because I'm producing for a lot of artists. They're like, oh, they need me, so let me not do my own music, But yeah, so I feel more confident to. I love being with people, but be on camera and release music, and I'm just feeling like I'm getting out of it now. And well, I have been for a while, and it never leaves me that I love playing music and I want to be just connecting with people with music, and I love to perform on stage, and that will never leave me. So I've been touring a lot, and
So
yeah,
you've
like you said,
been playing your own music on
yeah,
tour for
oh
a
yeah, for
while.
sure, yeah,
I
because
mean,
I
like
have enough,
nonstop.
yeah, because I have 4 albums out and a lot of catalog, and yeah, so I have plenty of my sets, pretty nice, I will say.
Well, I want to hear
And
your new shit is what that's why I was just
yeah,
like
I'm
more
releasing
albums.
the first song is Friday. I'm releasing a song with Royal Blue from Jamaica, and it's a song I was sitting on for a while, and I reached out to him, and he murdered a verse on it, killed it, and Come With Fire.
What
Yeah,
a title. Like I want to
gotta
get that
watch it.
tattooed on my ribs or something.
Yeah.
That's so sick. Um, um, what was I gonna say? How, one more just quick tip for all these people wondering out there. What's your strategy on going about getting these collaborations? You have some sick ones, and I'm always scared to call someone or ask. I'm like so in my own head, and I create every reason why not to ask someone to collaborate musically with me, even. I always feel like I'm not
Yeah.
worthy. What's your strategy? What do you do? How do you hype yourself up? Do you need to?
Well, I'm gonna say this strategy, but it hasn't worked in the case that I've been envisioning doing a song with you since like 2009. I remember the apartment where I was in when I first started producing, and I wrote this song. Check it. It's called Love, 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 and it was in a kind of style that you did. It's called Love, 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 and I was like, oh, Anuhe would be great on this song. And then I never connected with you, and still all these years I haven't. So this was the first time that I asked for anything, but I'm glad I did.
You heard it here first, folks.
But
Love,
yes,
love, love coming out
but
soon.
I think we have to take shots, like you said. We have to ask for things. We have to get up and grab this life. It's a short life, and I feel like we have to just make moves, or else it's gonna pass us by. So if you're on the fence with something, just go for it. Like I would just go for it. But yeah, same way as I hit you up for the tour, same way as I hit up, Tribal Seeds to join the band that did launch my career a lot, and same way as I hit up the brewery to start brewing, and hit up Royal Blue as my new single. Like you just got to do it. And I'm getting more comfortable because there's going to be a lot of no's. There's always going to be no's. Like no's are going to happen. You have to just be able to be like, just like the negative, just bat that away. Next, keep going, keep going.
I love it. My son,
Yeah.
just a quick thing. I don't know why it's meant to be. I just have to share this little story. I'm just loving on my
Oh,
son
let's.
so
We're
much
gonna
right
get into
now.
parent mode now. Oh my gosh.
You don't have any children, do you, that you know of?
Oh my God, my heart. My son is 6 years old. His name is
Wait, you
Sol.
have a 6-year-old son?
Yes,
What?
and a beautiful wife, and life is incredible. Yes,
I probably
it's.
like liked pictures of your child. I'm just
Oh
blanking right
yeah,
now. Are you serious?
I'm coaching his soccer team. I drop him at school every day. It's incredible. Like it's blowing my mind. I'm just
This
soaking
is
it
a
in.
whole chapter we need to talk about.
I'm
Oh
just
shit.
I'm just soaking it in. So tell me about your son. Tell me you've been
No,
loving on him.
I'm just I don't know why. You know why? Because I just think of you like 15, 20 years ago, like we're all just, rock stars
Kids.
and yeah, this it's just in a tour bus. But no, that's great. I'll just say my son just turned 10. I've been spending this last because I've been on the road pretty much like since October. Just every few days I'm gone, gone, gone. Gigs and
I see that. Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Guam, and then this and I'm home for one full week because 1 week from today is when we leave for Oregon because we have one day of rehearsals and
Yep.
then we start on next Thursday. So anyway, but I'm just savoring every second with him. And today when we were driving, like
Uh,
he had said something like the kids in his class like are being a certain way, and I just like he was like almost like talking like venting. He's like, what's venting? I'm like, well, that's what you're kind of
Uh,
doing right now. You're venting about how the boy was being rude to you on the soccer field at recess. And um, he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, what do you think anyone's venting about you? I don't know why. I just wanted him to kind of have the perspective of like, you can look at yourself
oh,
as well. Like it's because that's just a big one for me too. Like I was so blissfully unaware and maybe hurt people's feelings in my youth, or maybe
yeah.
something. I just wanted my 10-year-old to now realize that he could be affecting someone as well. So I'm like, what do you think anyone's venting about you? And he's like, yeah, maybe they're venting about that I get angry too quickly. I'm like, really? I'm like, what, why do you say that? He's like, well, because every time we play soccer, if I don't win, like I get super upset like really easily, and I'm just
Mm,
like over it. I'm like, yes, I've seen that my damn self, like in my backyard when I'm playing soccer with him. He'll get so mad if I beat him. I'm like, you got to learn how to lose, boy. But that's pretty much the whole lesson, just learning how to accept the no, and learning. And
oh,
I use it as a mom lesson as I'm just driving my 5 minutes to wherever we were going. I'm like, I got cut from the soccer team. I got cut from the K-Pac dance team at Kamehameha. I liked a boy and pretty much asked him to prom, and he said no. I didn't get into my top two colleges, like so many no's, but it's important just to
yeah.
keep on going. And that was my lesson for my kid. So I love that you're sharing that right now. I had to.
Yeah.
So tell me about you as a father. You're a soccer dad.
Yeah, I've been coaching soccer for the last season, and now we're starting winter league too. And I have
Ooh.
another coach, and so I'm able to go on tour and come back, which is really nice. But yeah, the kids are so sweet. They're all 6 and 7 year olds. It's incredible. Like
So
I went through one season with them, so they like know me. They're like hugging me, and it's incredible. Yeah, and my son Soul, it just I can't explain it. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like it is incredible.
it is
Yeah,
incredible.
it's such a trip. And the levels, like when he was 3, it was like a whole nother chapter. 4, and now he's 6, and it's like I can't imagine 10. Like
It's
it just
before my eyes. I'm savoring every single moment because of what you're saying. Like I have not
yeah, yeah,
taken anything for granted, especially since I don't get to see him every single day because we're not, me and his dad are not together. Of course, the nature of my job, but like it is, it's going to be crazy. I
yeah.
remember him as like a little baby and me being like, I can't believe someday like you're gonna be walking around the corner and calling me mom. Like when I hear him saying mom, like it just like makes me want to cry. I'm like, oh my God, this is my kid. I'm a
Uh,
mom. Like, oh my God. I'm gonna cry. This wine makes me cry. Cheers.
cheers.
Tell us about your wife. Is she just the
Salud.
bomb? Is she a musician? Is she supportive?
Her name is Lorena. She's super supportive. We've been together for 20 years. Yeah. So you've met her before for sure, back in the day.
I probably have
Yeah.
20 years.
We've been married 2011. So we got married. Yeah. It's been a long journey.
Wow. And then you guys
Yeah,
waited
it's been a cool. Thank you
14
for your
years.
applause. Yeah,
14 years to have a
no.
baby.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, long time. So that was a trip because I was touring a lot. I was like gone all the time, and we didn't know when it was gonna happen, and it all kind of happened at the same time. Like I was double. I was touring with Tribal Seeds full time and my music full time. So I was gone like
Mm.
the whole. I would get off one tour and go on the next tour. Like it was nuts. I did that for like 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and then left Tribal Seeds at the same time, found out she was pregnant. So she was like 2 months pregnant. And it was perfect because my schedule got cut in half and I got to be home more. And yeah, and
What a journey. A new
she's been,
chapter in your relationship too, right?
yes.
Like,
And
whoa.
we've been through some stuff, but we made it through. Like she's my best friend. And we call, not venting, but we call it and thens. So we're
And
like talking
then,
and then this happened today and then this happened. And then, like
ooh,
saying our
that's
dailies.
cute.
Yeah, we call it our and thens, yeah. And so we go in the house and she cooks amazing dinners. I help her and we have time together every night. I know it's important to her and we've just like built it into our lifestyle. So we spend a lot of the evenings together. So I just left, I just had an incredible dinner and then just like walked out my backyard to my studio, like a separate house back here. And yeah, my
Oh
life
my
is
gosh, I love it. You could
incredible.
be like, I want like life relationship advice. Like if there's
Uh,
you've been married more than freaking half of America,
yeah.
legally married longer than most people in this whole damn country. I pretty much guarantee that.
Yeah.
Wow, dude,
I'm grateful that we've been through it. It's not like it hasn't been hard. Like we've gone through our stuff and we've changed a lot. I feel very much like in my, my early 20s and half of my 30s or more, I don't feel like I was conscious. Like I was unconscious, kind of just flying. And it feels really much like if I look back, it looks like that. I feel like I only came out of it. And I don't know if I'm saying that like I'm saying that now because it's recently, but I feel like I only came out of it recently, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where I started to really be conscious. Like I have a
Yes.
kid. I don't know. It just before I was just
Soul
flying.
awakening. Soul
Yeah.
awakening. I feel like I felt the same thing. I feel like aliens must have come down. Can I just say this? Look at my earrings. They're Christmas. It's a alien spaceship that is
Get closer.
abducting. What is it? It's an alien spaceship abducting a Christmas tree. So cute.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
So when you said
That's
alien, I
awesome.
got very excited. I mean,
Oh my
I grew
gosh.
up Christian, but I'm like, I love to hear all about the freaking all of the
I've
things.
I've been popping in on Joe Rogan every once in a while.
Okay.
Oh
I
my
never listened to
God.
him,
No,
but
it's
I
cr-
love
like
him. I love him.
like just listen to the Alien episodes. That's it. Like
Okay.
it's crazy. Like it will blow your mind. Like this world is such he really nails it. Like he's such a his ideals and everything it really just nails it. It's just he relates to he's very conscious of what's going on in the world right now with technology and then he's with the experts that like have proof and military people and everything and he's just like and he's just and the way he shifts it it just blows my mind and I love that about life like this life is so mysterious it's so no
Mysterious.
one really has they're like no one really has proof of anything but
Yeah.
there is signs so why do we have all these signs but no exact like you know what I'm saying like whether
I
they're
mean,
okay
I'm right here with you. I wonder if we're
it's
losing half of our
crazy.
audience right now because they're not
No,
as
but I'm not just talking about aliens. I'm talking about like
everything.
God and like a
Yes.
spiritual like where do you go when you
Yes.
die? Is it like atheist where you just die and that's it? Like but we're so humans are so superior to anything that's ever we know of. So how did this happen? And how did like it just like
We're logical, but we're also like, we believe in magic. Like, I
yeah, but
believe in both.
something's happening right now because I think we're talking. The world is communicating. So
Mm.
they can't keep truth away at all. So like that's why all
Yes.
these people are coming out in the Senate too about the alien thing and all that. Like they're coming out and the truth is coming out. You can't hold truth anymore. Like truth will surface. Like if someone's treating someone else wrong, people are going to be like, "Nope, this is not happening. We're not standing for
Yes.
this." The world will come together. And that's where I think
Yes.
communication is there, but we've known all these things as in humanity for for years, and it's just so trippy. It's just I felt it like literally just by myself with no influence, just standing on the corner, and then like the tree rustles in a way, and like something flies by, and like you hear a baby, like a positive baby cry, and something else, and it just all hits you at one time, and you're like, "Yo, this is crazy. This is a
I
Truman
have to
Show. What's
ask
going
you,
on?"
were you on mushrooms at the time?
No,
And
I'm
how do you
talking
feel
about
about
just
that?
no, I'm
We
just
could talk
talking
about
about
it.
like regular life.
Just you just
Yeah,
feel there's these surges of energy. Well, I feel like when I do a
yeah,
little bit of
these
mushrooms, it wakens my soul, like just microdose, like on a regular basis for a week in advance or a week, like cumulatively for the next month or so, I'll have more experiences like that where my mind is like a little more open, like
I
it
think I've
just
done enough
changes something in my
mushrooms where I've done
it's
enough
in your
mushrooms
muscles.
where I think I'm just there. Yeah, I'm just
It's in the
there.
fiber
So
of your being. You're
no, literally,
permified. I know.
I've always been like very spiritual. So I'm just always seeking that like, why is is this supposed to happen like this? Like I'm seeking. So it's and I don't have all the answers. I don't have it, but like I've been heavily influenced by like the Catholic Church when I was young. I went to Catholic school, and then Rasta from 13, like Rasta, like the teachings of Rastafari that come through reggae music, like they also spoke to me. And there's just been so many blessings, like spiritually, and some of them are ideals, some of them are, it's just all over the board. But I've always been seeking that type of thing, and so
Yeah.
yeah, like life
Life
is
is mysterious. I wrote
oh,
that on the top of my paper. I'm like,
yeah.
could that be a song? Did you write it already? Life is a mystery or life
I
is
sing about
mysterious.
it every song that I'm singing. Check it.
Right. I love a good title. No, I love a good like title. That's why. Or like a good
Yeah,
tattoo. Like I said, like a tattoo.
nice.
Um
Yeah,
I
YouTube
love this
thumbnail. Yeah.
conversation. Yeah, YouTube thumbnail for sure. I have so much cool content. I love like getting real and getting open. Like that's my intention. This is my 33rd recorded episode.
I
And I
saw
talk,
that. Congrats.
yeah, it's a labor of
Hey, hey,
love
that's
sometimes.
something. You're doing something. You chose it, you got up here and you did it. Like,
It's more for me than it is for the people. I feel like, because sometimes I'll get in my own head. I am kind of a recluse and a introvert, believe it or not. I heard there's a term for it. It's called omnivert. Sometimes you're a total extrovert and sometimes you're complete introvert. And I swear to God, that's exactly me because I
so
am
do you have the best times when you're extroverted, when you're out there and you're talking with people? Is that when you're the
no.
happiest? No. Okay.
Not necessarily. I definitely think that substances will make me feel that way. Like I'm happiest
Got
more
it.
one-on-one with my son or my love or like
Yeah.
in nature. But then when it's me by myself, it is always a good time. Like I'm always having a blast when it's just me by myself.
Yeah.
I like being alone.
That's
Exercising
great.
alone, hiking alone, like
Yeah,
yoga is very much in
yes.
my own head. I get shit done
Nice,
alone.
yeah.
I'm just very much by myself all the time.
I
And I love it.
I I get glimpses of me as an introvert, like type B personality where you're not full on, but I feel like I'm extroverted and enjoy being around people, like talking with people and just communicating. Like this brings me the most joy, and I love my family being around with me during those situations. And it
Mm,
gets a little chaotic, and I love that. Like I don't mind like a bunch of people talking and like I performing on stage. Like I love all that. So
yeah.
yeah, that's
Hi, Kikai. Kikai's in this group right now. That's my boyfriend, Ian. He's
uh
a shut and he puts
nice
up
to
with a
meet
lot.
you.
Yeah, he's coming on the whole tour, Ian. You're gonna see him the
Oh, you're
whole
coming? Yeah? All right, yeah.
he's my emotional support
Nice.
animal.
So, oh,
Everyone, this
cool.
is
Nice to meet
Kikai's
you. Pleasure.
debut to the Just Keep Jamming podcast. Everybody, give him a whoop whoop.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Ian.
Yeah, pleasure. I'll meet you on the tour coming up.
For
Okay,
sure. Look
I'm
for it.
muting you. Oh shit, I just muted. I love you, babe.
Eh,
Sorry. I just muted
It's
you.
so one thing that you talked about, I'm changing subject, is that I
Please.
don't want to forget is exercise. Does this help you with your, like your life journey, your mental game
Movement
and
does. Yes,
yeah,
movement does. My dad was a PE teacher. I played sports, but I watched a couple documentaries like lifting weights and like doing marathons, which I've done 3 half marathons now in my life. Like that's not
I saw
necessarily
that.
the best for your overall health. Like just daily movement. Like the people who
Yeah.
live to the centurions are the ones who are gardening every day and carrying their
Yeah.
own laundry and like moving. And that's the lifestyle that I feel like is the most because I get stressed out when I feel like I gotta work out, I gotta have a personal trainer, I'm blowing it. Look at all these hot girls. Like that's gonna kill me. My mental health is gonna kill me someday if I compare. So there's my balance that I'm trying to feel. What about
Yeah.
you?
So what are the main things you do though?
Oh, yoga is my biggest.
Yoga.
I
Yeah.
love pulling weeds. Pulling weeds is my love language, and yard work is my love language. You can
You
thank
know
my
when
dad
you're
for
when
that.
you when you're gardening for a long time and you're pulling weeds and then you close your eyes, do you ever and you see plants? Does that ever happen to you? It happens
Ooh.
to me a lot. Like I'm looking at the plants for so long when I garden. I love gardening, by the way. I have like
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
big garden. And then when I leave the garden, I see plants when I close my eyes.
Well, it's kind of like the rhythm of the
I,
ocean. You're on a boat all day
I
fishing,
keep
and then when you're in bed, you're like still
exactly.
feeling it. Yeah.
I always ask people that, and no one has ever said, "Oh yeah, I do too." I'm always alone on that. I'm like,
I know. I'm
oh,
like, sorry,
I'm the
buddy.
guy
I
that
mean,
I'm the guy that's done too many mushrooms.
oh,
But yeah,
Sharon from the chat room says, "Come to my house. I have been cutting down trees." And then Jerry
weeding is
says,
so calm. Yeah, it is.
"Calming." Yeah. What kind of weeding you talking about, Jerry? Though.
Yeah, weeding. I was
Jerry.
like, yeah, I love to weed also.
But weed in the
But yeah,
morning, weeding in the night.
I love to I love to run. I've been running 3 miles every other day. The last couple weeks it's been like since preparing for tour, I kind of allow myself to like I've been running twice a week, but I've been running 3 miles. I got my little route here in Imperial Beach and it's
Three
amazing.
miles is good. I
It's
think
really
3 miles
changed
is
me.
a good distance, right? To get you in the zone, to get you
Yeah.
their heart rate, but not too much that it's like gonna fuck up your like
How
night.
many what's your like how many minute miles are you doing?
Oh, I mean, like when I was in
Like
super good
11?
shape, like 10, 11 consistently for 13
Yeah.
miles through, like I was
Cool.
I was good. But this last one, Ian,
Cool,
I just
yeah.
did a half marathon with Kick High. Like I was like, yeah, babe, I've done it so many times. Let's do it. My dad had passed away, and this is one of the
Oh,
biggest accomplishments of my life to date. And I never said this publicly, I don't think as often as I should. I quit smoking. Like I was up to a pack a day. You probably met me and you probably know I was like a freaking smoker since I was 18 years old,
I
just
think I
off and
remember that.
on. Yeah, like off and on, not like every day. But I got to the point where it was every day. I would just have my moment outside with my cigarette and it was fucking disgusting. Like I was raging addict.
Um,
And then I tried to do the half marathon while I
oh,
was in the middle of that addiction of cigarettes. And it was horrible. It was a miserable experience. But I ended up
oh,
going to the doctor. I thought I had like pneumonia. And then they prescribed me something, which is actually an antidepressant. I'm just sharing, being totally vulnerable and totally transparent. It's an antidepressant, but it actually takes away urges and it gives you impulse control. That's like one of the side effects. And
mm,
like I tried the patch, I tried the gum. I know Chantix gives people horrible nightmares. Was not ready for that. So I tried this, and honestly, game changer. Like I feel so much happier. I'm like disgusted of cigarettes. And I feel like that's going to help me with everybody's clapping in the thing. So you guys were just my friends. Like when I smell a cigarette, I'm like, was that me? They're like, yeah, Anu, that was you. I'm like, oh my God, disgust. Like I can't believe how gross I was for 20 years.
oh
Thank you for
man.
loving me anyway, you guys. I'm so sorry. But
And
no disrespect to people who have cigarettes, but I was smoking way too much, is what my point.
did that help? I'm so glad that I never had that habit. I've never touched a cigarette. Like I'm so grateful.
Oh,
Just I've heard that story from so many people. Like I have good friends that struggle
addicting.
to stop. And did that process help you kind of tame your other substances or
Um,
habits?
well, sort of. I just feel like I'm happier, and that like tames my anxiety and it
Got it.
tames my ADD. It does have like positive benefits for like ADD, which I definitely am. But I used to wake up and like have so much stuff to do. Like this book is completely filled with checklists. Like I function off of checklists, but I don't finish these checklists. Like I'm like halfway. Everybody in this thing knows it. Like I was supposed to
Yeah.
have vinyl records out for Christmas. Like I was supposed to have albums out. I have the intention, but it's just something in my brain blocks me. It's like that something blocks me anyway. But this bupropion has helped me, the chemical thing, because I have so much more. If I didn't have to function in this society, then I'd be fine. I wouldn't need these chemicals to be. I wouldn't need these pills. But I feel like this is a coping mechanism. Me having to function with fucking social media, being a single mom, having to keep up and up with all this shit. It is
Unhealthy
too hard.
society. Unhealthy
Yes. And
society.
that's the grace I'm giving myself so that I don't feel like weak or a piece of shit for having to rely on medication. Cause a lot of people might, like even friends of mine are like, I don't want to have to take a pill. I'm like, but seriously, it's like give yourself grace. Like back in the day, it wasn't this hard. Life is fucking hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to keep up.
Maybe try as you go forward to replace that with something natural, like figure out what's,
Absolutely.
I don't know,
Well,
and
that
like
was what I did
slowly
in
make
the
a switch.
holistic thing. I had all the herbs of the world. So I will wean myself off of this, though. You're absolutely right. I have a combination of mushroom, non psychedelic ones, ashwagandha, and all of the vitamins that will help me feel the same way. So thank you
Beautiful.
for saying that.
Yeah.
One question I had
Fucking for
though,
you.
how
Yeah.
does how do you secure your dreadlocks when you're running 3 miles? And does it hurt?
I've been keeping them like this lately, like this. Before I
Okay.
couldn't because they were touching the floor and I would have to put them in a backpack. I did the gong thing. I wore a backpack and when I would play soccer or a bicycle, anything like they're so floor. If I had them like this,
Bicycle is so dangerous.
if I had them like this, they would fall off because they were so big, like so massive. So
Yeah.
I would have put them in a backpack and then I would be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm alive again." Like I could really be athletic.
10 pounds
But now
lighter.
but now my wife's just like, "They're too long, it's time." And I'm like, "All right, here's the scissors." And I just let her go. So
So
she
it's
cuts
half
them like halfway like
down your
my
back.
ass, maybe a little higher. Yeah. Yeah,
That's cool.
they go to like here maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're all seeing his butt. Everyone, look at
I
his
don't
butt.
even
So,
have it now. So what do you mean?
This is my hair. Thank you to whoever sold this to Bellamy Hair Extensions because I really appreciate it. I want my hair to my
it's mine
ass.
now.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
I have my hair
So
is
what
very
I've seen
short.
is you either have the gene or you don't. There's a gene where your hair just grows forever, or you don't have that gene and it stops.
Interesting.
I
don't
got the
have
gene.
Okay, good for you. I hope your kid has the gene too.
I'll just cut them and ship them to you.
Well, I do know someone in my band had dreads, grew them themselves, but then decided they don't want them anymore. I should let him tell the story. But he cut them off, saved them, and then when he wanted to do dreads again, his
Put them
hair
back on.
he grew his hair about this long,
Yeah.
and then just reattached them.
Yeah.
And it's his, at least it's his dreads, because it's not somebody else's. Anyway. Well, it's 7:18. I would love you to just grace us so I have a cute sound bite for editing purposes. Can you just tell us maybe one like mantra or one takeaway, just something that you want our listeners to remember this entire podcast about you?
So I got a quote. What a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. So I think gratitude is the key, and it's in that statement. And here's another one about towards gratitude. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. So I do feel gratitude is the key to, this human experience.
I love it so much. I just wrote it in the chat. Can I add a third one for you as far as my perception of this whole thing?
Please do.
Life is mysterious. Woo!
Yeah, it is, right?
Fucking mysterious.
Let me get a thumb up in the chat if you guys. It's mysterious, right? Like we don't know much. Like we're trying to figure it all out, and it's incredible.
It's exciting, and it makes you want to wake up tomorrow and be like, "What kind of mystery am I gonna freaking, discover tomorrow?"
I do feel like answers are coming, whether this life or next or later or something. I feel like this is part of this journey. I don't know. Something tells me that.
I have the same feeling. And even if it's not real, at least we have that feeling, and it's going to keep us. I think this is a beautiful feeling to have. Let's never lose that excitement about life. E.N, thank you so much for being a part. Can we all give him a round of applause? You wear many a hat. Most of them probably can't fit on your dreadlock head. But
all the heads. No, the dreads go in the hat.
They go in the backpack.
They go in the backpack.
I can't wait to have so much fun. It's just going to be a beautiful winter vibe. So
yeah, the new single will probably be out. It's called Come With Fire with Royal Blue. And we're going to be playing it on this tour. And yeah, I'm excited for the tour. Yeah, this is going to be nice.
Woo-hoo. Thank you, Ian. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see everybody.
Very good to see everyone. Love you all.
Love you all too. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Just Keep Jamming podcast, season 3, episode 3 with E.N Young. Thank you so much. Love you to all my Patreon backers and everybody out there listening. See you next time. Aloha. Be sure to come check us out on the All Is Bright Tour 2023. From Portland to Bremerton, Washington, Boise, Idaho, Roseville, California, Lake Tahoe, and Solana Beach. Come check all the dates on anuheajams.com/allisbright. And don't forget, me and Kimie came out with a brand new song, Red, Gold, and Green. Check it out wherever you listen to music.
For the love